What is up, guys? It is Christ, and for one of the last times, welcome back to Dream Theater Thursday. So, we are going to be concluding the Astonishing album this week, and unfortunately, this will be late for you guys. I have been unable to record this third part until the day I'm actually supposed to record it, and there was a bunch of stuff going on today, so this will be probably late. You guys will probably get it somewhere around, I would say, 12:30 to 1. Hopefully it's not that late, but apologies if it is. So, we are concluding the album today, like I said, and a lot of stuff went down in the last episode. Faith is trying to create a peace between her father and Gabriel. I believe, what was her father's name? Nefarious, sorry. I haven't listened to this album in a couple weeks. Not because I haven't wanted to, but because I've been that busy, unfortunately. So I haven't had time to listen to this because it's just so time-consuming. But, so, Faith was trying to create a peace between Gabriel and Nefarious. But meanwhile, you have, I believe his name is Darius, was trying to get Ares to betray Gabriel, and he eventually did so. And that's the last thing we know of what happened. So we don't know what happens next, but we're about to find out. I've been trying not to look at these lyrics, so yeah, without further ado, let's get started with The Path That Divides. Why is this so low? I may have to do some audio adjusting during this. Lots of stuff I've been recording. Never tried this Rockstar. Let's try it. Not bad. Okay, something's going on. I'm assuming that this is where some mysterious stuff goes down. This Begin Again definitely felt like the closing of the second act, and this is probably the start of the third act.
The evening stars shine brightly over heaven's grove as night descends in silence. The faded scene unfolds, consumed with repetition.
I hope that Ares ends up not betraying his brother. I'm trying not to scroll down too much because I don't want to see what happens. So far this album has been absolutely amazing.
I feel my pulse begin to race. Beads of sweat drip down my face. I have made a grave mistake. What have I done but blood for my son?
Okay, it's about to go down. Yes! Yes! Do not betray him! Yes! Yes! They gonna fight together now? Not gonna lie, I kinda got goosebumps there for a second. Oh. Okay, alright, rapid fire. Ooh, so maybe Darius realized. His son had followed. Oh no. That's the reason I didn't want to. So far so good. Yes. was so worried about this too. Music is really awesome as well. The symphonic swelling is just amazing. Wait, along with Xander's dream, so he may not be going to kill Xander. This album is just so amazing. I love this album. The story just sounded so cheesy at first from the synopsis, but it's amazing. I love the guitar work throughout this song. It was pretty awesome. The symphony elements and the sword clashing definitely like added that extra layer on top of it. Really just like totally immersed you in the song. I would honestly love to see this album played live in its entirety. Like, not even kidding. Okay, it looks like this is an instrumental. How long is the instrumental, though? A minute long. Why couldn't they have an actual full-length instrumental? I mean, I don't know. There could be some. I don't know. Some of these song titles definitely are concerning me. Okay, so the Nomax are apparently the ones making this sound. So, it's funny how hip-hop is like the enemy of the, it's like the enemy is the one making hip-hop. I just want to point that out. I don't like hip-hop very much. Really concerned because I don't know what's going to happen with is there gonna be words to this one? Yep, apparently. Oh no. He killed Ares. Ooh, I need to hear Labrie screaming more often. Oh, that sucks. Oh no. So Gabriel is now going to try to avenge Ares, I think. I'm trying not to see what is below. I don't want anything of this story spoiled. Until I hear a line. The walking shadow hides its face, never aware of a looming attack. Like stepping right. Who's the walking shadow? Oh no. Okay, got some really good keyboard work by Rudess right now. This album definitely feels the closest to old school Dream Theater out of all of the stuff I've heard with Mangini, which is why I love it. Oh man, please don't tell me the looming shadow. is like Faith or something. I know that I think Faith and Nefarious were supposed to meet there. What if Darius kills like his sister to I guess hurt Gabriel or something? That'd be terrible. Oh no. No.
Angels above, have you deceived my eyes? Be still, my love, I won't leave your side.
Oh, this is so sad. They're using the same melody from one of the previous other songs.
Now I found my home in you. Only I'm too late.
Dang it!
Have I wandered into someone's nightmare? This is more than any heart can bear.
I really love the dynamic between them two. That sucks.
How many more have to die before you open your eyes?
Maybe there's some way they can save her. I don't know. I doubt it. This hit right for the gut punch. This sucks. That, I gotta be honest, that one hit me way harder than Finally Free. In Finally Free, you knew it was gonna happen. You just didn't know when, but this one I wasn't expecting. I had a feeling, especially though with the name of this song right here, but wasn't sure. Is this the turning point for Nefarious, though? That would be amazing.
Selfish heart, lost in the dark, blinded by my arrogance. And now
Not gonna lie,
you
this
beg
part's definitely making me kind of
for
emotional.
one last breath, and I'm the one to blame. There's a reason now I see, the reason you have chosen to find the light inside of me. If only I believed. Here I am, don't be afraid. I will
I'm hoping that
never let
even with
you
Faith's death,
slip
that's
away.
the turning point for the rest of this family. They realize how in the wrong they were.
Look my way. You must be brave. Find the strength to live for one more day. I will keep
I'm like this close to shed a tear right now.
I will ask for grace.
Wait, is there a chance she could be saved?
Find a way.
No.
Like a candle's dying flame, with forgiving eyes, she starts to drift away.
He called it the sun. Oh. I'm like this close from crying right now. Man, that was such a beautiful ending to that song. Holy crap, this one's rough. I gotta be honest, I'm a sucker for a good story.
I still had something left. I'd surely use my gift to give her one more breath, to see her smile again.
Oh no.
And yet my gift is gone, along with all her dreams. It vanished with a scream. My fragile voice has all but disappeared. I've nothing left to give. The words I wish I'd said, just whispers on the wind. And now all hope is dead.
Um, I'm. I think I know what the next one's gonna be about. The next song. I shouldn't have done that. They're hitting you with the violin right now.
Out of the shadows, one by one they came to
This album is just so beautiful in terms of melody. I don't really care that it doesn't sound like Dream Theater's normal stuff.
A thousand voices ring out through the night, a symphony of mercy for their savior, too tired to fight. And as the chorus grew,
Oh, this is such a beautiful sound right here with the subtle violin and the chorus in the background sounds amazing.
hope keeps shining through, shining through. Amazingly, the Savior found his voice, and all together they rejoiced. Glorious sound,
Oh wow. Oh, that sounds so heavy to me. Oh wow. Oh, she was healed. Oh wow. So they did manage. He did manage to save her. Is this like gonna be like the credits, or is this like the epilogue? What's happening here? That was definitely an awesome resolution to the story. I'm assuming the Gabriel and if Gabriel and Fate stay together, they may end up raising Xander.
Like your father once said, life is not what you're given, it is how you decide to live on the path you have chosen. So together
So far, the instrumentation on this album is just absolutely amazing too. I have to say, Mangini did an absolutely amazing job on this record.
I know you're scared and alone, but we will face this together. Through the innocence in your eyes.
Wait, so shouldn't Gabriel be able to heal all the other people that died too? Like Ares and even Darius? Or were they just too far gone? I don't think that Faith was quite dead yet. I think she was probably extremely close. Maybe he's not able to heal someone from death, but a mortal injury, perhaps. That would make sense, why he wasn't able to heal the others, because he could heal Faith. Or maybe he just was able to heal one person. I don't know. Okay, this is an absolutely amazing solo by Petrucci. It definitely has that triumphant feel to it. Rudess was writing on this one too. That's pretty cool. I haven't heard too much of Rudess on here though. Figured he at least write himself apart. So I'm guessing this one is going to be them powering down the Nomax or something. That's what I would assume at least. Yep, that's what I thought. I'm assuming the Astonishing is going to be an instrumental. Hopefully it is. I want to hear some crazy stuff. Hopefully it's like a little short but sweet one. I'm hoping it's an instrumental. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not clicking on the Astonishing until I hear the next song. But I'm hoping it is. That the ending to Our New World definitely felt like the end of the story. And so I'm assuming that this is, if this was a movie, this would probably be the credits scene. Which this honestly, I mean, it'd be super cheesy, but like this would actually make a pretty awesome movie. I want to hear them go crazy in this next song. No. Oh wow, what a beautiful sound already. Wait, is Ares still dying, or is he? Okay, that doesn't make sense. Ares must be talking to, he must be talking to Gabriel from beyond the grave or something. OCD is kicking in. Arms on my headset are not even. I definitely need to buy the Astonishing book now.
Brother, can you hear me? His life is in your hands. He is just a child and still too young to understand. Show him love and courage, that freedom knows no bounds. Tell him he could never let me down.
Oh, that choir is amazing.
I always had the answer. All this time I held the key. And now that I see the reason to believe, I can be the man who I am meant to be. Because of you, I live again.
Oh, and this is
Now I can be a voice
definitely a fitting end.
and help to build a world that's fair and true, so they can live the life they never knew. On the road to evolution, there are lessons to be learned. All the things you thought didn't matter are lost at every turn. When the light of my existence was slipping through my hands, pride and ignorance receded to reveal a humble man. My prince, my son, you got lost along the way. In light of this new burden that you face,
Wait, my prince, my son.
you
Is this talking about Darius?
not this day. People, can you hear us? Peace has been restored. The silence has been broken. Music
This definitely feels like the climax of the story.
People
make sure. Yeah. This album, I don't even have words to describe this album. Musically, it is one of the best albums I have ever heard. Story-wise, I'm not gonna say it tops Metropolis, because I just love that album to death so much. But man, does it come so close. The story in this album, yes, it's cheesy, but it is also an absolutely amazing story, and there's a certain suspension of disbelief that you have to have, just like when I listen to the Glory Hammer albums, because those are in and of itself satire, but there's still some absolutely amazing stories. This album was definitely amazing in terms of its story, astonishing, if you will, pun intended. Definitely love this album. The only criticisms I have for this album, we're going to do the criticisms first. Let's do the bad, and then let's do the good. I would not say this is a perfect album. But would I say it's in the top 5? Absolutely. It is so hard because I love Systematic Chaos to death. I love Train of Thought to death, and I love Metropolis to death. I'm going to have to listen to this one a few more times before I give it an official ranking, because I would definitely say that this is in the top 5, like 100%. Like, this album is in the top 5. But when it comes to where it places on that top 5, that's where I really need to bunker down, listen to this album, listen to the other top 5 albums that I have, and determine where it is from there. So let's get into the bad. Really, there's not much to talk about here. I am going to, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to organize this. Okay, so I want to talk about the good, I'm going to talk about the bad, the neutral, and then we'll talk about the good. Because I know a lot of people have lots of different opinions on this album. Some people love it, some people absolutely hate it, some people don't mind it, some people think it's good, but it's just too long. So let's talk about the bad first. I think this album is too long. I seriously think that 2 hours is too much for an album like this. With that being said, this album would have been drastically shorter if they would have cut out all the little instrumental sections that just really didn't make sense. For example, we go to Descent of the Nomax, we'll leave that one. But the minute 52, the 27-second, the minute-long one, I think one of these is actually Whispers on the Wind. We'll leave that one. Power Down. I think that some of these, you could definitely have cut out the little short instrumentals and shaved a few minutes off the record. But then, I have a feeling that you could have made epics out of some of these and shortened them a little bit. Like that whole section at the Cove, that could have been shortened and made into an epic. Or at least like a little bit of a longer song, but not as long as all the songs individually. That's where I think that this album fails the most, is at its excessive length, because it does tell a concise story, but the length in and of itself is the biggest problem, and the only problem that I could see that would turn me off in the future from listening to this album on a regular basis. So that's the first bad. The second bad is that there are no real instrumentals on this album. I was hoping that, because I have a feeling it could have ended with Our New World. The album definitely ended on a really good note on Our New World, and I was hoping that the Astonishing would be an actual instrumental. That being said, we definitely got a very nice send-off to the album, but I would have preferred an absolutely amazing, crazy instrumental at the end. I would have even been willing to even extend the length of this album a little bit longer to put an actual instrumental on. Unfortunately, that's not what we got. We got these little sort of lackluster, minute 30, 2-minute long songs that I feel could have been cut out and replaced with an actual instrumental. For example, Descent of the Nomax, you could have cut that one out. The Answer, the Hovering Sopium, whatever that is. Digital Discord. So all these, you could have taken these out and made an actual instrumental out, and it would have been awesome. I would have loved that. Now, don't get me wrong, the Dystopian Overture was nice, but it's no real instrumental. It's no Dance of Eternity. It's no Streams of Consciousness. It's no. I've even grown to like Enigma Machine, Yetzi Jam. It's none of those. So that's really the only two bad sections, is that it's excessive length and there's no real instrumental on this record. That being said, that's not going to dock it too much because of what I have to say in the neutral and the good category. So coming into the neutral is where I can see the biggest like discrepancy with a lot of different people. For example, a lot of people. So this is the only like sort of neutral I have. The style of record. The style of record is mostly what turns people off from this album. That's what I've heard from people say the most, is that it is the biggest departure that Dream Theater has ever done. That being said, I love this style. I love the acoustic and sort more focus on melody style. I love how it's focused on symphonic stuff. I love how it's a rock opera. I really don't care too much about it. I would say that's more of a positive for me, but it's more of a neutral for other people, which is why I'm putting it in the neutral. So, let's talk about the positives. Number one, you have the absolutely amazing melodies throughout this record. You have the vocal melodies, you have the different instrument melodies, you have the symphonic melodies, you have the choir melodies. Every single one of the melodies in this record was absolutely amazing. It was so pleasing to the ear to hear. Every single song on here had an absolutely amazing section. Another thing I could put in the neutral is there wasn't really a lot of experimentation done, which does sort of make each track sort of feel very similar to the rest. I personally don't mind that too much. But now we have the meat and potatoes, the story of this record. The sort of ridiculous story that like it's set in a dystopian future where music is not allowed, and people have to live in silence or listen to these nomacs that produce this artificial machine sound. I honestly think that's taken a shot at the current music industry, but that's just me. Maybe some of you guys felt the same way. So the story that was told with Gabriel and Faith and Nefarious and Darius and Ares, all these characters felt believable and real in this story. Gabriel was a reluctant hero. He had doubts that he was the one that people thought he was. Ares was by no means a perfect person, but in his final moments, he redeemed himself. He started off being, I guess, the one that inspired Gabriel. And then he ended up almost betraying Gabriel. He did betray Gabriel, but then at the last second, he switched allegiances back to Gabriel and says, "I can't betray my own brother." You have Darius. As much as I don't like him, I don't like Darius because of just how ruthless and just evil he was. Darius, I think, was the true villain of this story. Nefarious definitely was blinded by his own hatred. But at the same time, he wasn't really the one that killed Ares. He wasn't the one that almost killed Faith. It was Darius. It was Darius that did all of that. Darius felt like he was a multifaceted villain, one that was definitely eager to please his father, and as a result, he hated everything that his father hated and did anything he could to please his father. And that meant that he was going to try and kill Gabriel so that he could gain his father's favor. You have Nefarious, who is prideful in his own particular ways and doesn't want to admit when he's wrong, and he pushes everybody away because of that. And the only one that he really cares about, it didn't really show he cared about his wife either. It was his daughter, Faith. It said several times that that she was like his angelic jewel. And so just showed that like he really valued his daughter, and it broke him. That was the final straw that broke him when his daughter was dying. He realizes how wrong he was, and Faith, of course, is this person that doesn't know why she's involved in this particular story, what role she plays in destiny, but knows that she needs to knows that she's supposed to be with Gabriel, and she was ultimately the key that ended up getting through to Nefarious and even Darius as well. I think it sort of alluded to the fact that Darius was forgiven in the end, despite everything that he had done. So overall, this album definitely told a very compelling story, even though it was a bit cheesy. I really enjoyed this story, as you guys could tell, and it's definitely one that I'm going to be loving in the future when I listen to this. And yeah, so overall, I would give this album... I can't quite give it a 10 because there is a little bit of stuff that knocks it down. I mean, a 5. We rate these out of 5 now. Been rating them out of 5 for like over a year now. I'm really conflicted because it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, like, I know a lot of people have like a problem with that. I'm gonna give this album a 4.5. I think that that's a fair rating. Even though I personally would rate it a bit higher. I know that there's definitely people that don't like this album, and so I think that's a good compromise. Well, if I was rating this album personally, I would give it a 4.75. But I know that the majority of people don't necessarily hold the same views that I do. I really enjoyed this album, and I am definitely 100% picking up this book to go more in depth. I was reading like the story stuff as it like sort of came along, but I definitely think the book would go way more in depth, and it would be an absolutely amazing read. I heard even John Petrucci ended up like contributing to it as well, which is awesome. Guys, unfortunately, that is going to be all for this video. I can't gush over this album anymore. I love this album. It was absolutely amazing. Flawed, yes, but just so slightly. I thought this album was amazing. It did have a couple of shortcomings, mostly the length and the lack of instrumentals. But other than that, it was an amazing record. Let me know what you guys think. And I am seriously, like, impressed by this album. You guys talked it down so much. Everybody was ripping on The Astonishing. Everyone's saying, oh, it's such a trash album. Don't even react to it. Every time I go, I'm in a Dream Theater group on Facebook, and everybody's, like, ripping on The Astonishing. Like, oh, it's such a trash album. Like, it's probably their worst album. And I'm just like, I seriously think it's one of the best. I don't get why people are so, like, uptight over this kind of thing. I've never been one to sort of stick to one particular genre, even with Metallica and stuff like that. With Load or Reload or Saint Anger, I love all those albums, even though most people don't like them. And so this just goes to show that, like, I'm indifferent. I don't really cave to like pressure. I don't listen to what people say. I follow my own path. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the album, what you thought of my thoughts, and we will see you guys later.